Right, so today we are diving into Abram Jackson.
Abram Jackson.
You want to connect to this guy? We're going deep.
Deep dive today.
Way past the surface level LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we're looking at his LinkedIn, obviously, and his resume.
Yeah, think of us as like your cheat sheet to understanding what makes this guy tick.
Okay, so get this. This is his tagline on his LinkedIn.
Okay.
Don Quixote never turned down a challenge because it was too hard, and neither have I.
Uh-huh.
I mean, come on.
All right, so right off the bat, this is someone who...
We got to know more.
This is someone who's not afraid of a challenge.
No.
Who actively seeks out those tough problems.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I feel like that's the, kind of sets the stage for his whole career trajectory.
Absolutely. And it's not,
Not a cookie cutter.
Not a cookie cutter career path.
By any means.
This is someone who's constantly pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, so he starts out, and this is kind of interesting to me. He starts out really like knee-deep in the technical stuff.
Deep in the trenches.
Working with OpenVMS.
Yeah.
I mean, this is old school tech.
This is the digital equivalent of like a master craftsman, right?
Yeah.
Who understands the tools of their trade.
Yeah, and not just like the how-to, but like the why, like down to the core.
Absolutely, but he doesn't just stay there.
Right?
He doesn't just stay in that one little niche.
Well, he graduates college and goes right to Microsoft.
That's right, and not just to any role. He's moving up the ranks at Microsoft.
And it's not, Microsoft's not just handing these out.
No. To stand out in that environment.
You got to be exceptional.
You have to be exceptional, and you have to be driven. And this is where it gets really, really interesting, I think. Early in his Microsoft career, he's kind of thrust into these large-scale challenges.
Yeah, mission-critical stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking Exchange Online.
Oh, yeah.
Global database replication.
Yeah, if that goes down,
yeah,
we all know.
The entire company's in trouble.
And in his resume, he's talking about like tens of thousands of servers.
Exascale data.
And just wrap your head around that for 1 second.
Yeah, this is not theoretical.
No, this is the real deal.
This is like trial by fire.
And you come out the other end as like a forged,
You're an architect at that point.
You're an architect.
You're not just a coder. You're an architect.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing here. It's not just that he was, a skilled coder at that point.
Right.
But that it's like he could do both. He could be in the weeds, and he could also like see the big picture.
He understands the how and the why at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's crucial.
Yeah. And it's not even just that he can handle that kind of pressure, but it's like he seeks it out.
He thrives in that environment.
Yeah.
He's not waiting for the next challenge to come to him.
Yeah.
He's out there hunting for it.
Yeah.
And this kind of brings us to this pivotal moment, 2015,
okay,
when he kind of becomes, dare I say, an AI pioneer.
2015. So we're talking AI is still like...
It's early days.
It's early days.
It's finding its footing.
And he is at Microsoft and not just like dipping his toe in.
Right.
He's like, all right, I'm going all in.
Cannonball.
Tell me more.
So he sees this potential of AI early on, right?
Yeah.
Long before it was the buzzword that it is today.
Yeah.
But instead of waiting for someone else to kind of pave the way, he's like, I'm going to take the initiative here.
Yeah.
And he spearheaded the creation of the machine learning platform for Office 365.
I mean, Office 365.
We're not talking about some small side project here.
No.
This is building the infrastructure for AI at a scale.
Massive scale.
That most people can't even imagine.
And he's doing this when like AI it's almost like a future tech.
It's seen as this niche thing. It's not mainstream yet.
No.
And he's going all in.
And we're talking, he goes from a team of 13 engineers.
Yeah.
To overseeing a department of over 200.
With dozens of PMs and data scientists.
It's like, that's impact.
That's impact, and the complexity of that, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just, let's build a better algorithm.
Right.
It's how do we integrate this into a system as massive and complex as Office 365?
Yeah.
You've got security, compliance.
Yeah. You got to think about all this stuff.
At a global scale.
Global scale. It's like building a rocket ship while it's launching.
Exactly.
And speaking of launching into the stratosphere, now he's the PM for Copilot extensibility.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, he's on the front lines now.
This is the forefront.
Microsoft is making a big bet on AI, and he is right there.
100%.
So it's not just that he was there at the beginning.
He's riding that wave, but he's also shaping it.
He's shaping it. That's a really good point.
This is where it gets exciting for anyone in the AI space because
Exactly.
pushing those limits, figuring out what's possible.
Okay, so we've got a visionary, we've got a tech powerhouse.
For sure.
But this is what gets me. Is like, you see this and you think like, oh, corporate AI overlord, but no.
This is where we get into the good stuff.
He's got this whole other side.
Yeah, beyond the bullet points.
So while he's at Microsoft working on these huge, huge projects,
Yeah.
he co-founds a startup,
That's dedication right there.
Apps for Therapy.
Wow.
It's an iPad app to help children with learning disabilities.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, and by the way, he taught himself iOS development
Of course, yeah.
to do this.
I mean, it just shows you, right. So
this
this isn't just a 9-to-5 job for him. This is
like he's going home
yeah.
after working on exascale data.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, let me fire up the laptop again.
Yeah, let's code for a bit.
Let's code for a bit,
It's passion.
And it's not even like he's not trying to make $1 billion.
No, it's about impact.
He's trying to make a difference.
Exactly.
And that to me is like super inspiring.
Absolutely. And the entrepreneurial spirit, it doesn't stop there.
Okay.
He mentions on his resume, kind of casually, that he's having fun with LangChain.
And, our listeners, they're on top of it. They know what LangChain is.
They know.
But just the fact that he's like getting his hands dirty.
Yeah, he's not just reading about the latest tools. He's like, let's play with this.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
Exactly.
Especially in the context of Copilot extensibility.
It all ties together. So this is someone who's not just like keeping up, but he's like...
He's looking ahead.
Yeah.
He's like, how can we push this further?
So we're not just talking about, brilliant.
Yeah.
We're talking about driven, compassionate,
And curious.
always learning.
100%. If you could bottle that up, that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
That's how you succeed in tech.
That's your recipe right there.
And I think that's what makes him so fascinating as a
Yeah.
person to connect with, right? Totally.
Okay, so let's say you're at this AI conference.
Mm-hmm.
You spot Abram across the room.
Right.
How do you break the ice?
Yeah, you can't just be like, hey, AI, that's cool.
No, love those servers. No.
You gotta stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
Show you've done your homework.
Oh.
Remember that Don Quixote quote from his LinkedIn?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good starting point.
Okay.
Ask him how has that quote shaped his approach to challenges in his career?
Oh, I like that.
Right.
It's not just about the quote.
Yeah.
What makes you tick?
What gets you out of bed in the morning? What are those impossible problems you're trying to solve?
Yeah, totally.
Or, think about that Office 365 machine learning platform.
Yeah.
What were some of the biggest hurdles he faced back in 2015?
Oh, that's good.
Because remember, this is before.
Before it was cool.
Before it was everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So what were those technical challenges? Were there organizational barriers?
Oh, I bet there were.
I'm sure there's some stories there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that's where you get the good stuff.
Absolutely.
It's not the what, it's the how.
It's those insights into how someone like him thinks, right? How he approaches problems.
Yeah, totally.
How he leads teams through these, uncharted territories.
And if you really want to get his attention,
Okay.
bring up LangChain,
Mm-hmm.
but don't just bring it up.
Okay.
Have a question ready.
All right. Specific question.
That is related to what he's doing.
It shows you're not just...
Yeah, I read your resume.
Yeah, I skimmed the headlines.
Yeah.
This shows you're engaged, you're interested.
So you're speaking his language.
Exactly.
But I think, honestly, more than any topic, it's you got to be curious.
Genuine curiosity.
Ask about apps for therapy.
Yeah. What were the challenges of building a startup while working full-time?
Yeah, and it's those conversations that go, beyond the
surface,
Yeah.
and you start to reveal the person behind the impressive resume.
Totally, because it's not, it shouldn't be transactional.
No,
We're not just here to network. We're here to,
it's about connect,
yeah.
finding those common threads, right?
And you never know.
Exactly.
Maybe this is the start of something.
Absolutely. A new opportunity, a mentor.
A friendship,
You never know where these things will lead.
Exactly. And I think one last thing is
Yeah.
He's gone from
Deep in the tech
deep tech to product.
to leadership.
That's the trajectory a lot of people.
It's the dream.
It's the dream. So don't be afraid to be like, hey, how'd you do it?
Exactly. Ask for advice.
What have you learned?
He seems like someone who enjoys sharing that knowledge,
Yeah, totally.
helping others grow.
I love that. And it's like they say, if you want to go fast, go alone.
If you want to go far, go together.
And I feel like Abram Jackson is someone you want on your team.
I think so. Yeah, he's got the skills, the drive, the heart. It's all there.
And there you have it. That is Abram Jackson. You are ready to connect.
Hmm.
But before you go, remember that line in his resume about building the world we want to see?
Interesting.
What do you think that looks like to him? How does his work on AI play into that?
It's a good question.
It is a good question, and maybe you can ask him yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep diving deep.